Some families pass down recipes. Mine passed down a secret we were never supposed to tell. The kind that sits at the table with you every Thanksgiving, breathing quietly, waiting for someone to finally break. My name is Claire Ashford. I'm 31 now. But when I was 16, I learned that some traditions aren't about gratitude, they're about survival. Our family always gathered at my grandmother's farmhouse in Grafton, Vermont, a sprawling, crooked place with a wraparound porch and windows that rattled when the wind picked up. The kind of house that smelled like cedar and old wool blankets, where the floorboards creaked like they were talking to each other. Thanksgiving was the one day we all showed up. No excuses, no exceptions. My mother used to say it was tradition, but my grandmother called it the agreement. I didn't understand what she meant until that November. The week before Thanksgiving, my grandmother called me directly, not my parents, me. "Claire, honey," she said, voice soft and careful. "I need you to do something for me this year." "Sure, Grandma. What is it?" She paused, then quietly, "Set an extra plate at the table." I laughed. "For who?" "Just set it," she said, "and don't ask questions, not in front of your mother." The line went dead. When we arrived Thanksgiving morning, the house felt different, colder. The air inside smelled faintly of sage and smoke, like someone had burned herbs in the kitchen. My mother noticed it too. She wrinkled her nose but didn't say anything. My father carried in the pies. My younger brother, Danny, complained about the long drive. Everything felt normal on the surface, but my grandmother stood at the kitchen window, staring out at the field behind the house. She didn't turn around when we came in. "Grandma?" I said gently. She flinched, then smiled. "Oh, sweetheart, you're here." Her hands were shaking. Dinner prep was chaotic, as always. My mother bossed everyone around. My father hid in the den with football on low volume. Danny snuck bites of stuffing before it even hit the oven. I helped my grandmother set the table. That's when I saw it. An extra chair, an extra plate, an extra glass of water at the head of the table. "Grandma," I whispered. "Who's that for?" She didn't look at me. "Just set it, Claire, please." Her voice cracked. I wanted to press, but something in her eyes stopped me. Fear. Real, trembling fear. We sat down to eat at 6 o'clock sharp. The turkey gleamed under the chandelier light. Mashed potatoes, gravy, green beans, cranberry sauce, everything perfect. But no one touched the extra plate. No one mentioned it. Not my mother. Not my father. Not even Danny, who noticed everything. They all just avoided looking at it. Like acknowledging it would make something real. Halfway through the meal, my grandmother stood abruptly. "I need to check the pies," she said, even though we hadn't finished dinner yet. She disappeared into the kitchen. I heard the back door open, then close. I followed her. The November air bit at my face as I stepped onto the back porch. My grandmother stood at the edge of the field, arms wrapped around herself, staring into the dark. "Grandma?" She didn't turn. "You shouldn't be out here, Claire." "What's going on?" She closed her eyes. "Every year," she whispered, "every Thanksgiving, we set a plate, we honor the agreement, and they let us stay." "Who?" She turned to me, tears streaking her cheeks. "The ones who were here first." She told me the story in pieces. Slow, painful. Her grandfather had built this house in 1902, but the land wasn't empty. It belonged to a family. A small community that lived quietly, farmed quietly, buried their dead quietly, until her grandfather forced them out, burned their homes, took the land, erased their names. But they didn't leave, not completely. Every Thanksgiving, one of them comes back, not to harm, not to take, just to sit to be remembered, to remind us that the land remembers, even if we choose to forget. If we don't set the plate, my grandmother said, they take something else. Like what? She looked at me with hollow eyes. Someone from the table. We went back inside. The meal continued. Quiet, tense. And then, just as my mother started slicing the pumpkin pie, the back door opened. Softly, no knock, no creak, just open. Everyone froze. A figure stood in the doorway, tall, thin, wrapped in a long, dark coat that looked older than the house itself. Their face was shadowed, but I could feel their eyes, scanning the table, landing on the empty plate. My grandmother stood slowly. "Thank you for coming," she said, voice steady now. The figure didn't speak. They walked to the head of the table, sat down, folded their hands, and stared at the untouched plate. No one moved, no one breathed. The figure reached out, lifted the glass of water, drank slowly, then set it down. They looked at each of us, one by one. When their eyes met mine, I felt something cold settle in my chest. Not anger, not hate, just acknowledgement. You see me. And then, as quietly as they came, they stood, walked back to the door, and disappeared into the night. My grandmother exhaled. My mother's hands were shaking so hard she couldn't hold her fork. Danny whispered, "What was that?" No one answered, because we all knew. We don't talk about it. Not at Christmas, not at birthdays, not ever. But every Thanksgiving, I go back to that house, and I set the plate. Because some debts don't fade with time, some names don't stay buried, and some guests never really leave. I found the photo tucked inside my mother's old cookbook, yellowed and bent at the corners. 12 people are seated around a Thanksgiving table, 11 smiling, one staring directly at the camera with eyes that didn't belong to anyone living. If you've ever found something in your family's old belongings that didn't make sense, something that felt wrong, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story too. My mother died in October, breast cancer, stage 4. She fought hard, but some fights don't end the way you hope. I'm an only child, so the job of clearing out her apartment fell to me. It wasn't a big place, a 1-bedroom in Spokane, Washington, with water-stained ceilings and a radiator that clanked like someone was trapped inside it. But it was hers, and now it was mine to sort through. Most of it was easy to let go. Old magazines, clothes that smelled like lavender and dust, bills from 10 years ago she never threw away. But the kitchen was harder. That's where she kept her cookbooks, dozens of them, stacked on shelves, crammed into drawers, some store-bought, some handwritten. Recipes clipped from newspapers, scribbled on napkins, folded into greeting cards. My mother loved to cook, especially for Thanksgiving. I was flipping through her oldest cookbook, a battered copy of Better Homes and Gardens from 1973, when the photograph slipped out. It landed face up on the linoleum floor. I picked it up, and my stomach dropped. It was a Thanksgiving photo. 12 people around a long wooden table, turkey in the center, candles lit, everyone dressed in their best. I recognized some of them. My mother, young, maybe 25. Her hair dark and long, her smile bright. My grandmother, stern-faced as always, hands folded in her lap. My Uncle Eddie, who died before I was born. A few cousins I'd only met once or twice. But there was one person I didn't recognize. A woman, seated at the far end of the table. Pale skin, sunken cheeks, dark hair hanging limp over her shoulders. She wasn't smiling. She was staring directly at the camera. Her eyes were wrong, too wide, too still. Like she wasn't blinking, like she wasn't breathing. I flipped the photo over. On the back, in my mother's handwriting, Thanksgiving 1981. Don't forget. Don't forget what? I I called my Aunt Linda that night. She was my mother's younger sister, the only family I had left who might remember. "Aunt Linda, do you remember Thanksgiving in 1981? Silence. Then, "Why are you asking about that?" "I found a photo. Mom wrote something on the back. Don't forget." "What does that mean?" Another pause. Longer this time. "Claire, throw that photo away." "What? Why?" "Just do it. Don't look at it again. Don't ask questions." "Aunt Linda, I mean it." She hung up. I didn't throw it away. I couldn't. Because something about that woman at the end of the table felt familiar, like I'd seen her before. I scanned the photo and posted it to a genealogy forum online, asking if anyone recognized the people in it. Within an hour, someone replied, "That's the Hargrove family. They lived in eastern Washington. Most of them are gone now." I typed back, "Do you know who the woman at the end of the table is?" The response came quickly. "There's no woman at the end of that table. Just 11 people." I stared at the screen, then at the photo. 12 people. I could see her clearly. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept the photo on my nightstand, face down. But I felt it, like it was watching me even through the paper. Around 2 in the morning, I heard something. A soft sound, like paper sliding across wood. I opened my eyes. The photograph was face up now. I know I left it face down. I'm sure of it. I got up, turned on the light, picked up the photo. The woman's position had changed. Before, she was seated at the far end. Now she was closer, 3 seats down. Her eyes still locked on the camera, still wide, still unblinking. I called Aunt Linda again. She didn't pick up. I left a voicemail, my voice shaking. "Something's wrong with the photo. The woman in it, she's moving. I know how that sounds, but I swear..." A beep. The voicemail cut off. I tried calling back, straight to voicemail. The next morning, I drove to my aunt's house in Spokane Valley. She didn't answer the door. I used the spare key she'd given me years ago. The house was cold, silent. "Aunt Linda?" No answer. I found her in the living room, sitting in her recliner, hands folded in her lap, staring at nothing. "Aunt Linda?" She didn't move. I stepped closer. Her eyes were open, but they weren't seeing. The paramedics said it was a stroke, sudden, massive. She'd been dead for hours, but when they asked if I knew what might have caused the stress, I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them about the photo, or the fact that when I got home, the woman in the photograph had moved again. Now she was 2 seats away from my mother. I stopped sleeping. I taped the photo to my bathroom mirror so I could watch it. Every few hours I checked, and every time she was closer, 1 seat away, then right next to my mother, then directly behind her. Her face pressed close to my mother's shoulder, her mouth open slightly, like she was whispering something. On Thanksgiving morning, I woke to find the photo on my pillow. I hadn't moved it, I hadn't touched it, but there it was, face up. And the woman was gone. The table showed 11 people now, just like the person online had said. I should have felt relieved, but I didn't, because that morning when I looked in the mirror, I saw her, standing behind me, pale, still, eyes too wide, her mouth moving slowly, soundlessly, forming the same words over and over. "Don't forget, don't forget, don't forget." I don't know what my mother was supposed to remember. I don't know what happened in 1981, but I know this. Some photographs don't just capture moments, they capture deaths. And some deaths follow you long after the shutter clicks. I burned the photo yesterday, watched it curl and blacken in my kitchen sink. But this morning, I found it again, tucked inside my mother's cookbook, untouched, unburned. And now, there are 13 people at the table. The woman is back, and this time she's smiling. My father-in-law handed me a handwritten list the day before Thanksgiving. 23 names, 22 I recognized. The last one made my hands go cold. The borrower. If your family has strange Thanksgiving rules, ones nobody explains but everyone follows, drop a comment. Sometimes the old ways exist for reasons we'd rather not know. I married into the Pruitt family 3 years ago. They're old Georgia money, the kind of family that owns land measured in acres, not lots, the kind that has portraits in the hallway dating back to the 1840s. My husband Nathan grew up in a restored plantation house outside Macon. Wide porches, tall windows, magnolia trees older than the Civil War. Beautiful, in a way that made you forget what the land had seen. Thanksgiving with the Pruitts wasn't optional. It was expected. Nathan's father, William, made that clear the first time I met him. Thanksgiving is the one day we honor our family's history, he said, shaking my hand with a grip that lasted a second too long. You'll be expected to attend, every year, no exceptions. I smiled, nodded, but something in his tone felt less like an invitation and more like a warning. This year, Nathan and I arrived the day before Thanksgiving. The house looked the same as always, grand, imposing, a little too quiet for something so large. Nathan's mother, Diane, greeted us at the door with tight hugs and a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "You're here," she said, as if she'd been holding her breath. "Good, good." William appeared behind her, hands in his pockets, surveying us like we were late even though we weren't. "Nathan, Margot." He nodded at me. I nodded back. "Dinner's at 6 tomorrow," he continued. "No delays, no excuses." "We know, Dad," Nathan said, a little edge in his voice. William's gaze shifted to me. "Margot, I'll need you in the dining room tonight. There's something you need to understand before tomorrow." Nathan frowned. "Dad, she doesn't need to." "Yes," William said quietly. "She does." That evening, after Diane went to bed, William led me to the dining room. The long mahogany table had already been set for Thanksgiving. 23 place settings, fine china, crystal glasses, cloth napkins folded into perfect triangles. William pulled a folded piece of paper from his jacket pocket and handed it to me. "This is the guest list," he said. I unfolded it. 23 names written in careful cursive. Most I recognized. Nathan's aunts and uncles, cousins, a few close family friends. But the last name on the list stopped me cold. The borrower. "Who's that?" I asked. William didn't answer right away. He walked to the head of the table and rested his hand on the back of the chair. "Every Thanksgiving," he said slowly, "we set a place for the borrower." "Is that a nickname?" "No." His tone made my stomach tighten. "Then who is it?" He looked at me with an expression I couldn't read. Not anger, not fear, resignation. Someone who's owed. He told me the story in pieces, reluctant, like each word cost him something. In 1867, Nathan's great-great-grandfather, Silas Pruitt, rebuilt this house after the war. But he didn't have the money. He didn't have the labor. He didn't have anything except land and desperation. So he made a deal. Not with a bank, not with the government, with someone else. Someone who offered help with no contract, no collateral, no questions. All Silas had to do was promise one thing. Every Thanksgiving, set a plate, offer a seat, acknowledge the debt, and in return the family would prosper. They did prosper, William said quietly, for generations, but the deal never ended. "What happens if you don't set the plate?" I asked. William's jaw tightened. "We lose someone." I wanted to laugh. I wanted to tell him it sounded like a ghost story, someone made up to scare kids. But the look in his eyes stopped me. He wasn't joking. "Who did you lose?" I asked softly. He looked away. "My brother, Thanksgiving 1993. We forgot to set the plate. We thought..." We thought maybe after all these years it didn't matter anymore. His voice cracked. Daniel had a heart attack at the table, 38 years old, healthy, no warning. He turned back to me. We haven't missed a plate since. Thanksgiving Day arrived cold and gray, the house filled with relatives by noon. Laughter, warm greetings, the smell of turkey and sage drifting from the kitchen. Everything felt normal, except for the 23rd chair. No one sat in it, no one looked at it, no one acknowledged it, but everyone knew it was there. Dinner started at 6, exactly as planned. William said grace, long, formal, rehearsed. And at the end, he added something I hadn't heard before. We thank those who came before. We honor those who helped us. And we remember those who are owed. A few people around the table murmured, Amen. I glanced at Nathan. He stared at his plate, jaw tight. We ate in near silence, forks scraping, glasses clinking, polite requests to pass the rolls. But no one spoke above a whisper. It felt like we were all waiting. And then, just as Diane started slicing the pecan pie, the front door opened. No knock, no doorbell. Just the soft, deliberate creak of the heavy oak door swinging inward. Everyone froze. William set down his fork slowly. Footsteps echoed through the hallway. Slow, even. A figure appeared in the dining room doorway. Tall, thin, dressed in an old wool coat that looked decades out of place. A wide-brimmed hat shadowed their face. No one screamed. No one ran. William stood. Thank you for joining us, he said, voice steady. The figure didn't respond. They walked to the empty chair at the far end of the table and sat down. Slowly, they removed their hat. I couldn't see their face clearly. The light seemed to bend around them, like they existed slightly out of focus. But I could feel their presence. Cold, heavy, ancient. They reached for the plate in front of them, empty like all the others. And then, one by one, food began to appear on it. Not from serving dishes, not from anyone's hands. It just materialized. A slice of turkey, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce. The figure picked up a fork and ate, slowly, methodically. No one else moved, no one spoke. We just watched. When they finished, the figure stood, placed the napkin back on the table, folded neatly, put their hat back on, and without a word, walked back toward the door. The front door closed softly behind them. For a long moment, no one breathed. Then Diane whispered, "It's done." William exhaled, shoulders sagging like a weight had been lifted. People began to move again. Conversations resumed, quiet and cautious. But I couldn't move, because when the figure had stood just for a moment, they had turned toward me, and I saw their face, pale, featureless, except for the eyes, dark, endless, and looking directly at me. That night, Nathan and I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. "You believe it now," he said quietly. It wasn't a question. "I don't know what I believe," I whispered. "My family's survived because we keep the agreement," he said. "We honor the debt. We set the plate." "What happens when we can't anymore?" I asked. "What happens when one of us forgets or refuses?" Nathan turned to me, eyes tired and sad. "Then someone pays." We left the next morning. I haven't been back since. But last week, a letter arrived. Handwritten, old-fashioned script, no return address. Inside, a single sentence. "The borrower does not forget. Thanksgiving is 2 days away. Nathan insists we go back." "We have to," he says. "It's the agreement." But I keep thinking about that face, those eyes, and the way they looked at me like they were measuring something, like they were deciding. I don't know what happens if we don't go. But I'm starting to think the Pruitts aren't the only ones being watched. I'm starting to think the debt isn't just theirs anymore. It's mine too. And debts like that don't get forgiven. They get collected. My grandmother kept a corn-husk doll on the mantel every Thanksgiving. Faded, brittle, older than anyone could remember. The year I took it down to look at it closely, the doll looked back. If you've ever had a family heirloom that felt wrong, something that made the air feel heavier when you got near it, share your story below. Sometimes objects carry more than memories. I grew up in rural Indiana. Flat land, cornfields stretching for miles, towns so small you knew everyone's name and half their secrets. My grandmother, Ruth, lived alone on a farmhouse at the edge of Monroe County, the same house her mother had lived in, and her mother before that. 4 generations of women, all living in the same creaking structure with warped floors and windows that never quite closed all the way. Every Thanksgiving, we went to her house, and every Thanksgiving, the doll was there. It sat on the mantel above the fireplace, a corn-husk doll, handmade, simple, no face, just dried corn leaves twisted and tied into the shape of a woman, a long skirt, thin arms crossed over her chest, a bonnet made from a single husk, brown and brittle with age. I asked about it once when I was 8. "Grandma, why do you keep that old doll?" She glanced at it, then back at me. "Because it keeps us," she said. I didn't understand. But I learned not to ask again. The doll never moved. It sat in the exact same spot year after year, leaning slightly to the left, facing the room. But sometimes, when the light hit it a certain way, it looked like it was watching. My mother hated it. "That thing gives me the creeps," she'd mutter every year as we unpacked the car. "I don't know why she won't just throw it away." But my grandmother never did, and no one dared move it. I was 24 the year my grandmother got sick. Lung cancer, stage 3. She refused treatment, said she'd lived long enough and didn't want to spend her last months in a hospital, so she stayed in the farmhouse. And I stayed with her. That Thanksgiving, it was just the 2 of us. My mother couldn't come. Work. My father stayed behind with her. My brother was deployed overseas, so I cooked. Turkey from the grocery store, boxed stuffing, canned cranberry sauce. Nothing fancy, but Grandma didn't care. "You're here," she said softly, squeezing my hand. "That's all that matters." We ate at the small kitchen table, the house silent except for the wind rattling the shutters. And the whole time I felt it, the doll, watching from the mantel. After dinner, I helped Grandma to bed. She was so thin, so fragile. "Stay close tonight," she whispered as I tucked the blankets around her. "Don't go far." "I won't. I'm just downstairs." She gripped my wrist, eyes suddenly sharp. "And don't touch the doll." I froze. "Grandma, I wasn't..." "Promise me." Her voice cracked, desperate. "I promise." She released me, sinking back into the pillows, exhausted. I kissed her forehead and left the room. I couldn't sleep. The house felt different that night, colder, heavier. Around midnight, I went to the living room to stoke the fire. That's when I noticed it. The doll had moved. Not much, just a few inches. But I knew where it had been. I'd stared at it enough times over the years. It was closer to the edge of the mantel now, leaning forward, like it was trying to see something. I stepped closer. The firelight flickered across its surface, casting shadows that made the folds of the husk look almost like wrinkles, like skin. I reached out, just to push it back, just to make sure it wouldn't fall. The moment my fingers touched it, the room went cold. The fire dimmed, and I heard it. A whisper. Soft, rasping, coming from somewhere inside the dried corn leaves. "Not yet." I jerked my hand back. The doll didn't move, but I swear I felt it. A presence, watching, waiting. I backed away slowly, heart pounding. Then I turned and ran upstairs. Grandma was awake, sitting up in bed, staring at the door like she'd been expecting me. "You touched it," she said quietly. "I didn't mean to. I told you not to." Her voice wasn't angry, it was scared. "Grandma, what is that thing?" She closed her eyes. For a long moment, she didn't speak. Then, finally, "It's the harvest keeper." She told me the story in a voice so quiet, I had to lean in to hear. Her great-grandmother made the doll in 1898. It was a bad year. Drought, crop failure. The family was starving, so she made a deal. Not with God, not with the bank, with the land itself. She wove the doll from the last stalks of corn left standing, dressed it, prayed over it, and she promised, "Every year we give thanks. Every year we honor the harvest, and in return, the land provides." "The doll holds the agreement," Grandma whispered. "As long as it sits on that mantle, the family is protected. The land remembers. The harvest comes." "What happens if it's moved?" I asked. Her face went pale. "The land takes back what it's owed." I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the hallway outside Grandma's room, watching the stairs, listening. Around 3 in the morning, I heard it again. The whisper, louder now, closer. "Not yet, not yet, not yet." I crept downstairs. The doll was standing, not sitting. Standing upright on the mantel, balanced impossibly on its tied husk feet. Its faceless head turned toward me, and I felt it, a pull, like invisible hands reaching into my chest, trying to draw something out. I ran, back upstairs, into Grandma's room. She was awake, waiting. "It's happening," she said softly. "What's happening?" "The agreement is ending." Tears slid down her cheeks. "I'm the last one who kept it properly. After me, there's no one left who understands." "I'm here," I said. "I'll keep it. She shook her head. "It doesn't want you. It wants what was promised." "What was promised?" She looked at me with tired, ancient eyes. "A life, every generation, one life, willingly given at the end of the harvest." My stomach turned. "Grandma, no. It's always been this way," she whispered. "My mother, her mother, all the way back. You're not. I'm dying anyway, child. This way the land stays fed, the family stays safe." She died 3 days later, peacefully, in her sleep. I buried her in the family plot behind the house, under the oak tree her grandmother had planted. And when I came back inside, the doll was gone. I searched everywhere. The mantel, the cupboards, every drawer and closet. It was nowhere. But that night, I found it, sitting in the center of Grandma's bed, upright, facing the door. And in the morning, it was back on the mantel, exactly where it had always been. I left the farmhouse that week, put it up for sale, took only what I needed. But before I locked the door for the last time, I stood in the living room. The doll sat on the mantel, silent, still. I wanted to take it, burn it, bury it. But I couldn't, because deep down, I knew. The agreement wasn't with the doll. The doll was just a reminder. The agreement was with the land, and the land doesn't forget. Last week, I got a call from the realtor. The farmhouse sold. A young couple, first-time buyers, excited to renovate. She said they loved the rustic charm, and they especially loved the antique corn-husk doll on the mantel. "Such a sweet touch," the buyer had said. "I tried to warn them. I called, I left messages, but they didn't answer. Thanksgiving is tomorrow. I wonder if they'll set a plate. I wonder if they'll understand when the doll starts whispering. I wonder if they'll figure it out in time, or if the land will take what it's owed, because the harvest keeper doesn't stop. It just waits, and when the time comes, It collects. We always left one seat empty at Thanksgiving, not for a late guest, not for decoration, for the person who would die before next year. My grandfather said it was respect. I didn't believe him until I saw who sat down. Before we close out tonight, tell me in the comments, do you have any family traditions that felt normal growing up but strange looking back? Sometimes the old rules make sense only when it's too late. My grandfather Sam was a quiet man. He lived in a weathered cabin outside Dalton, New Hampshire. No neighbors for miles, just pines, granite, and a dirt road that turned to mud every spring. He raised me after my parents died in a car accident when I was 7. He never talked about feelings, never hugged, never said, "I love you." But every night he made sure I had dinner, and every Thanksgiving he set an extra seat at the table. The first time I asked about it, I was maybe 9 years old. "Grandpa, who's that chair for?" He was carving the turkey, hands steady, face unreadable. "Someone who needs it," he said. "Is someone coming?" "Maybe." "Who?" He set the knife down and looked at me. "The one who's leaving." I didn't understand, but something in his tone told me not to ask again. Every Thanksgiving after that, the pattern was the same. Grandpa and I would eat at the small table in the kitchen. 2 plates, 2 glasses, and 1 empty chair pulled out, waiting. He never explained, and no one ever sat in it until the year I turned 17. That Thanksgiving started like all the others. Cold, gray, snow falling slow and soft outside the cabin windows. Grandpa had shot a wild turkey that week. We plucked it together, cooked it low and slow in the old cast-iron Dutch oven. The cabin smelled like rosemary and wood smoke. We set the table just after noon. 2 plates, 1 empty chair. I poured cider into the glasses and sat down, ready to eat. But Grandpa didn't move. He stood at the head of the table, staring at the empty chair. His face had gone pale. "Grandpa?" He didn't answer. He just stared. Then quietly he pulled the chair out a little further and sat down in his usual spot. "Let's say grace," he said, but his voice shook. We ate in silence. The wind picked up outside, rattling the shutters. I kept glancing at the empty chair. It felt wrong, like the air around it was heavier, colder. Halfway through the meal, Grandpa set his fork down. "I need to tell you something," he said. I looked up. His hands were trembling. "This tradition," he continued slowly, "it's been in our family a long time. Longer than me, longer than my father." "What is it?" He took a breath. "Every Thanksgiving, we set a seat for the one who won't make it to the next." I frowned. "What do you mean?" "Someone at the table," he said quietly. "Someone eating with us. They'll be gone before next year." My stomach tightened. "That's not funny, Grandpa." "I'm not joking." His eyes met mine, dead serious. "It's always been this way. The empty chair marks them, and by the end of the meal..." He trailed off. "What?" I whispered. "They see who it is." Before I could respond, the cabin door creaked, not open, just a soft groan, like someone had pressed against it from the outside. We both froze. Grandpa's face went white. "Don't look," he whispered. "Why?" "Just don't." But I couldn't help it. I turned toward the door, and through the frosted window I saw a shape. Tall, still, standing just beyond the glass. Grandpa stood abruptly, chairs scraping loud against the floor. "Stay here," he said. "Grandpa, wait." But he was already walking toward the door. He opened it slowly. Cold air rushed in, carrying snow and the scent of wet pine. No one was there, but footprints led up to the porch and stopped, right at the threshold. Grandpa closed the door, locked it. He stood there for a moment, breathing hard, hand still on the knob. Then he turned back to the table and froze. The empty chair wasn't empty anymore. Someone was sitting in it. An old man, older than my grandfather, thin, hollow-cheeked, wearing clothes I didn't recognize, wool trousers, a faded flannel shirt, suspenders. His hands were folded on the table, and he was staring at my grandfather, not blinking, not moving, just staring. I couldn't breathe. I tried to speak, but my throat closed up. Grandpa walked slowly back to the table. He didn't look at me. He looked at the man. "Pa," he said softly. The man didn't respond. "I know," Grandpa continued, voice breaking. "I know it's my turn." My heart slammed against my ribs. "Grandpa, what are you—" "Sit down," he said gently. "No, I don't understand. Who is that?" "My father." I stared at the old man. He looked real, solid, but something about him was wrong. The way the light didn't quite touch him. The way the air around him felt still, dead. "Your father's been dead for 30 years, I whispered. "I know." Grandpa sat back down. The old man's gaze shifted to me, and I felt it, a coldness that sank into my bones. "This is how it works," Grandpa said quietly, not looking at me. "Every Thanksgiving, the one who's marked sees them. The dead come to collect." "Collect what?" "The one who's leaving." Tears slid down his face. "I've known for weeks. I just didn't want to tell you." "Grandpa, no, you're fine. I'm dying," he said. "Heart. The doctor told me in October, maybe 6 months, maybe less." My hands shook. "Then we'll fight it. There's nothing to fight, kid. This is just how it goes." He finally looked at me. "But you need to understand. After I'm gone, the tradition falls to you. I don't want it. Doesn't matter. It's ours. It's been ours since the first Thanksgiving our family ever had on this land." "I don't believe in this," I said, voice cracking. "I don't believe in ghosts or curses or—" The old man's hand moved. Slowly, he reached across the table and placed his palm over my grandfather's. Grandpa closed his eyes. A single tear ran down his cheek. "I'll be all right," he whispered. "I'm ready." The old man stood. Grandpa stood with him. I tried to grab his arm, but he pulled away gently. "Finish your dinner," he said, "and next year set the chair." "Grandpa, please." He smiled, sad, tired. "You're stronger than you think, kid. You'll be fine." The old man turned and walked toward the door. My grandfather followed. The door opened by itself. Snow swirled in. They stepped out into the cold, and the door closed softly behind them. I ran to the window, but they were gone. No footprints, no shapes in the snow, just emptiness. My grandfather died 3 days later. Heart attack, peaceful, in his sleep, just like he said. I kept the cabin. I didn't know what else to do. And last Thanksgiving, for the first time, I set the table myself. 2 plates, 1 empty chair. I sat down, alone, and halfway through the meal I felt it, that heaviness, that cold. I looked up, and my grandfather was sitting in the empty chair, not speaking, not moving, just watching me with kind, tired eyes. He didn't stay long, just long enough for me to understand. The tradition continues. The chair will always be set, and one day, I'll be the one sitting in it. Thank you for listening tonight. I hope these stories gave you something to think about as you gather around your own tables this Thanksgiving. Remember, some traditions are about gratitude, others are about survival, and sometimes the line between the two is thinner than we'd like to believe. Sleep well, and if you hear footsteps tonight, don't look. Some guests are better left unseen. Until next time.